fear of betraying people, the fear of losing confidence from people, the fear of losing your status with your homies. Who gives a fuck about your homies? You ain't got no fucking homies. You ain't hood. You ain't fucking gangster. Fuck your homies.
I've built many startups. Most of them have failed. And so Bitcoin is exactly the place that I like to be.
We're going to end it right there. Guess what, guys? I must become all things to all men so that I can tell of the great news of that Bitcoin. That's what we gotta do, guys. So I will suit up. Guys. We have to. Because I can't rely on everyone. I'm just honest. I can't rely on everyone. People let you down. People promise things. People say stuff. People say, hey, I can do this, I can do that. Guys, welcome to Sunday Sermon. Tonight's conversation is on the topic of being miserable. And that's the perfect lead-in. Crypto Mom says, people will disappoint you. Promises are like voicemail, says K Barbecue Moon Man. People will let you down. People will disappoint you. People will make promises. If you've ever been scammed online, you know what that's like. The thing is that regardless of the variability of humans, of us people, we must yet persevere. Our life depends on it. And it's worth every minute trying. So let's talk, guys, in tonight's Sunday sermon. Let's talk about the topic of being miserable. And I've used this example before in Discord chat. And it's not a perfect example, but I can hope that you can understand my point. Is that I truly believe that the most successful people in the world, could have been the most successful people in the world. Let me put it that way. That the people that could have been the most successful in the world, in their own life, in what they do, are the people that you meet at the gym every fucking day. I've used this example before. And I think it has broad implications. The problem is transferring the gym and the discipline to go to the gym every bloody day to something that is life transforming, if not it being just going to the gym. Some people go to the gym because that is the prime goal of life change. They are fat as fuck, and maybe so are you. Welcome to the show. If you're fat as fuck and it's a priority for you to get healthy, guess what? The gym, that's the altar that you need to be praying at every day. But if getting fit and getting your health right is not a priority, then that's not the altar. That's not the church for you. So don't talk about telling me that you got to go back to the gym, Justin Bosack. Time to just fucking do it. But here's the point. Going to the gym is a mental discipline that these individuals have created. These individuals have created a mental discipline to go to the fucking bloody gym early in the morning, because you guys know that's when I go. It's the worst time to go to the gym. The worst time to go to the gym is early in the morning because you have to wake yourself up, you have to get the fuck up, and you have to go to the gym when it's still cold out. It's the worst time. There's no worse time to go to the gym. But that's when I go. And the people that I see there every time I go, guys, these people have a mental discipline that surpasses 99% of humanity. Because they are choosing to be miserable. They are choosing to be miserable. And you know what? I'm choosing to be miserable. I wake up, I got so much shit to do every fucking day. It's Sunday, guys. It's the Lord's Day, but I'm working. I hate fucking waking up early in the morning. I hate interrupting my REM sleep. I hate interrupting my mind creating unrealities. It is fucking torturous to wake up every day. Never skip leg day, says Hextech. Absolutely. It is torture for me to wake up every day early with the fucking alarm. I hate it. 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 I hate it so much. There's almost nothing within my daily routine that I hate more than that fucking alarm. My wife hates it too. You know the Booins hates that shit. It wakes her up, and then she's up. I feel bad about that. But we've been married long enough where it's kind of like, it is what it is. And I'm cold. I'm uncomfortable. My body wants to be warm. So the physiology is working against me. My brain is working against me. It's saying, Peter, you need more sleep. It feels good being here. But you get up. And they get up. And they make the same fucking routine. I don't know what it is. I'll tell you mine, though. I get up. I go immediately downstairs and I make my wife coffee because I owe her that much for waking her up that early. I make the coffee. I go back upstairs. I put on my gym shit. Go back downstairs. Pour my cup of coffee. Hawk that shit. And I get in the fucking car and I go to the gym. At the gym, sometimes the coffee works through me fast. And so I take a shit. About 50% of the time. Guys, no pretense here. It is what it is. Then I drink a lot of water, and I hang out in the hot sauna for 15 minutes flat. It's a time box. After I'm sweating everything that I had eaten the last night out into my shirt, I work out. And I make it hard, and I make it worth it. I don't need to do cardio because I do 2 sets within one superset. And so I'm always moving. My heart's always up. I'm sweating profusely, and I smell like shit. Ain't nobody brushed their teeth yet, guys. After my workout's done, I drink my protein shake. I get back in the sauna. 15 minutes, time box. I sweat all that shit off again. And then I head home, and I get to work. But that entire experience, guys, is complete torture. It is, people ask me, that, people will talk about stuff. And, maybe sometimes I even volunteer it depending on how shitty of an attitude I have that morning. Some brother will be talking to me early in the morning. Ain't nobody want to talk, brother. It is 6:30 in the morning, and I'm here with you. But we'll engage in some friendly banter. And then I'll say something to the effect of, God, brother, I'm telling you, man, I fucking hate being here, but I'm here. And I'm glad you're here too. I know all their names. I don't know all their names, but I know almost all the regulars in the morning. But they, what they have done, if they have answered the call. They have answered the call. Whatever that is, I don't know what that motivating factor for them is. But they've answered the call. And when you volunteer for the call, you volunteer for a little slice of hell. You see, these people, they choose to be miserable in the morning at the worst particular moment physiologically as well as psychologically. It's the worst time to be doing this shit. But talk to any Marine, talk to any special ops, talk to any military serviceman who's done more than 5 years in the military, they'll tell you, they still wake up fucking at 4:30 in the morning. It's been ingrained into their discipline. And they'll all tell you that it's worth every minute. And you're like, brother, are you serious? You wake up at 4:30 every morning? Why? Why is that worth it? Ask any serious military man, and they'll tell you, yeah, it's worth every minute of it. But they choose misery. They choose to be miserable. It's a mental decision. It's an intentional decision, day after day after day after day. With if you could think about it, might in the entire universe of opportunities might make no difference. If you want to argue that way. But I don't. I think it makes a world of difference. I think choosing to be miserable and slicing off a little slice of hell, I think is one of the keys to greatness. Notice I don't say the keys to success. Fuck with that. I don't even know what that is. But I think it's one of the keys to personal greatness. Ninja Grassmaster says, without suffering, we will never learn from our mistakes. Yeah. I mean, Hexdeck says 4:30 and in the gym 5:15. That's better than me. Mr. Barbecue Man, you wake up at 4:50. That's better than me. My gym's not that far away. So I can get up at like 5:45, sometimes 6:15 if I'm really lazy. But they have chosen misery. When you choose misery, when you choose to be miserable, now understand the meta here. Don't miss the context. The context, I think, is an abject discipline to utilize that misery. But when you choose to have a life of discipline, a life of discipline, your diet will be isolation. It'll be rejection. It'll be self-doubt. It'll be despair. It'll be ridicule. It'll be contempt. It'll be humiliation. And you say, Peter, how is that possible? We're just going to the gym here, Peter. Where are you going with this? We're not talking about going to the gym. We're talking about changing your life. Look, how did I start this entire idea? It was very simple. The people at the gym have the greatest chance of being some of the most successful, greatest people in the entire world. The problem is the people that go to the gym with that mental discipline are not able to translate that mental discipline to suffer and choose pain and choose misery to an endeavor that could greater impact their life than just going to the gym. And if that's you, you're who I'm talking to. Whatever that goal is, we've already established that in the previous sermons. Whatever that goal is, whatever that vision, you go through B90X, you'd even know more about it because we talk about product vision and vision for your own life and creating a mission for your own life. We've already talked about all this, so that's assumed. You understand that? But these people haven't been able to translate that mental discipline of working out every day to changing their life, whether it's their career, whether it's a new job, whether it's a new risk, a new hobby. I don't know what it is that you want to do. Make more money? That's fine. It's a great goal. To have a great family, to pay off that debt. I don't know what it is for you. But please don't mistake this. This is not a war against whatever it is. It's only one war. It's only one war. And you know who that's against. We talked about that last sermon. The war's against yourself. It's always been against yourself. No one knows how to fight you like you. You're the best at fighting yourself. You're the best at rationalizing bullshit. You're the best at lying to yourself. You're the best at telling yourself you don't need to go today. You're the best at telling yourself, you can just take one more sip. You're the best at saying whatever it takes for you to have a lack of discipline. It is a war against yourself. It is miserable to confront yourself. That's the larger issue. The issue is not the temporary psychological pain that it takes for you to get the fuck up and go to the gym, or put that pen down and start writing because you've been wanting to write for fucking 20 years. It's time to go, guys. Or to get to the keyboard and start writing, typing, coding. Or maybe even just searching so you can learn more about the area in which you want to improve, or the thing that you want to change in life. You are your own worst enemy, says BitNative. Absolutely. It is miserable to go through the temporary psychological pain inflicted in doing that. And it sometimes even is accompanied with a little bit of physical or physiological pain. Wake the fuck up. Grow the fuck up. That's not misery. That's not miserable. You know what really is miserable? It is miserable to confront yourself. It is miserable to actually force yourself to do something that you don't want to do. It is miserable. Let me repeat this. It is miserable to confront yourself. Because you're a liar. I'm a liar. I lie to myself all the time. You're a temptress. I'm a temptress. We tempt ourselves all the time. We're all of that. It is miserable to confront yourself. It is miserable to look yourself in the mirror and say, man, what the fuck has happened? How did I get here? I have that all the time. Maybe it's because I try to stay woke. Maybe. Or maybe it's just because I'm constantly looking at my fucking self and the goals that I have in my mirror. And so I am forced to confront the realities of what I have chosen to do. And I sometimes hate looking at that list in the mirror. Because it's hard work. It is sometimes miserable to look at that list and have a flood of emotions up and down the entire spectrum. It is frustrating to see that. It is disparaging to see that. For all the reasons I could think of. But if you have something that you want to do in life, you are going to have to choose to be miserable. You know, when I look at that mirror, man, it is frustrating sometimes to look at that mirror. Sometimes it's just so frustrating, and it's not frustration that it's not happening. It's frustrating because it just takes time, and I want time to move faster. But we talked about that earlier in today's sermon. How fast fucking time is going by. It's amazing, guys. Before you know it, it'll be fucking June 24th again, and I hope to see you guys here. I hope to see you guys here. I'll still be here. Because I wrote it on my fucking mirror. I know where I'm going. But it is miserable. It is miserable. It is terrible sometimes to confront yourself. And you say, well, Peter, I'm looking, you're saying it's hard to confront myself. What does that mean? What does that mean? Where are you going with all this hyperbole, this bullshit, this nonsense? When I say you are confronting yourself, when I say that you are looking yourself straight in the fucking nuns, straight in the fucking eyes, and looking at yourself, and you are dissatisfied, you are unhappy, there's something staring right back at you that says, man, something's got to change. And it's not in a negative. It doesn't have to be a negative. It could be a super positive. Something's got to change. Everything's great, but man, this could be better. Man, you're in a great position. Go on with your bad self. Stop fucking wasting time. If it's already great, make it better. If that's what your nuns, if that's what your eyes are staring back at you and saying. So if your eyes are telling you something, they're telling you something powerful. It's weird, but sometimes, not very often, but sometimes I'll even stare in the mirror and end up staring at my own eyes for so long, I'm actually just looking at my eyes. Because ain't no soul searching here, guys. We've gotten beyond that. I'm just looking at my fucking eyes and see if there's like a black speck in there or if they look hungover. It's like, where the fuck, what? What am I doing? Why am I doing this? So let me explain what I mean when I say that you're confronting yourself. You are confronting your fears. Why? Why are you confronting your fears? Why? I'll tell you why. Here's the end of the story. The end of the story is your greatest fear. I'm going to give you the end of the movie. It's the fear of the consequences of following your own heart. That's what it is. I just gave you the end of the sermon. The sermon is, or the end of the sermon, part of the end of the sermon is the fear of following your own heart. That is, I think, the chief master fear of all. Okay, so let's go through the tactical and strategic, emotional, psychological fears. Yeah, we could do that. That's easy. Let's go through tactical. The fear of bankruptcy, because you're trying something new. The fear of poverty, if you're switching jobs. Or if you just want to get the fuck out of New York. You want to go somewhere else. No job prospects, just something new. Maybe it's a new side hustle. It's going to cost you a little bit of money to invest. If you ask my opinion on that, why make it a side hustle? Make it the main hustle. Because then your heart's in it. Then you've jumped off the cliff. So the fear of bankruptcy, the fear of poverty, the fear of insolvency. Fuck that. I've already been bankrupted, guys. Guess what? I learned something. That you only buy stuff in cash. Because that way, you know that you earned it. Fuck insolvency. Insolvency teaches you valuable lessons if you're listening. The fear of groveling. The fear of asking. The shame of failing. And having to crawl back to your old employer. Crawl back to the uncle who loaned you 15 grand to get started. The shame, the groveling, the apologies, the fear of being selfish, being looked at as selfish, being a bad husband or wife or spouse. The fear of losing support of your family. Man, when I started this new journey, I told my entire extended family. How embarrassing is that? How embarrassing is that? I sent an email out to my entire extended family, which, let me give you one context. Let's just say let's just say that my parents had lots and lots and lots of brothers and sisters. So we have a large-ass extended family, guys. Who cares? Most of them just say, oh, it's fucking Petey doing that shit again. Just ignore it. Some of them get interested for a second. But trust me, no one really cares. The fear of betraying people. The fear of losing confidence from people. The fear of losing your status with your homies. Who gives a fuck about your homies? You ain't got no fucking homies. You ain't hood. You ain't fucking gangster. Fuck your homies. Fuck your set. Fuck your set trip. Fuck your crew. I don't care. The fear of failing your race. The fear of failing your political side. The fear of throwing away your education. The fear of throwing away years of service to a company that, frankly, doesn't give a shit about you anyway. The fear of losing out on the training. The fear of losing all that world experience. The fear of not turning back. The fear of going too far. Trust me. When you follow your heart, you will go too far. Because that's what your heart does. Your heart takes you to places that are ridiculously uncomfortable. And in many ways, permanently scarring. That's what your heart fucking does. Your brain is the rational entity within your system that is telling you that's a risky bet to do that shit. But your heart, your heart's the one that's always going to take you too far. Damn, it feels good to be a gangster. The fear of madness, the fear of insanity. Yeah, because, you know, sometimes when I get an opportunity to set my ego aside and I hear myself talking, I kind of sound crazy, guys. I kind of sound crazy. I'm not even 40 years old yet, and I think I'm already crazy. I think I've passed that, guys. I think I've passed the fear of insanity and maybe even death. But the master fear. Yeah, the best ones are always cray. You're not crazy, young blood. God. When you're looking at yourself in the mirror, when you have to confront yourself, the stark realities of your misshapen body, the health that you've neglected, the career that you hate, the boss that you completely despise, the industry that you support, and the compromises you've made. To be in that internal insanity. Do I sound hardcore? Do I sound crazy? Do I sound like I've lost my mind? Guys, I've said this before, and it gets me passionate. And it gets me psyched up. Almost to the point when I'm on the verge of either laughing out loud and sometimes crying inside. Your life depends on it. Your life depends on this moment. Your life depends on it. Because it's all you fucking got. It's all you got. And so I'm asking you to choose misery in a short life. But you see, am I missing a step here? No. That's one of the keys to greatness. Is choosing misery. Is choosing a mental discipline. Let's call it a mental discipline. Choosing pain. Yes, absolutely. Absolutely. The hammer is very appropriate. She brings the pain. I'm passionate about this crypto mom, and I care deeply for you guys, even though I've never met most of you. Most all of you. Except maybe one or two. I care because guess what, guys? I'm not a fortune teller. I'm not a soothsayer. I don't know the fucking future. But all I know is that everyone I see ends up dying. And I expect that particular cycle to probably continue. There's a high chance of continuing within my life. And so I think that's the only constant I know. It's the only consistent entity in which I can pivot and make informed decisions around within the fractal nature of this fucked up world with all its variability and unknown unknowns. The only thing that I do know is that it'll end. And so I'm asking you to choose a life of misery, of mental discipline, to live, here's the gap, to live the life that you want. It is miserable. It is disdainful. It is hurtful. It is painful. It is suffering to live the life that you want. It is miserable. It is suffering to choose the life that you want. It is suffering to live a life exactly the way you want, because it was crafted by you. It was designed by you. It was chosen by you. You made it. You created it. It's yours. No one else has any say over it. It is wholly yours. It's yours. It's awesome. Take it. Take it. Because when you command your life, when you choose your life, it bites back hard. Oh, it's got some teeth on it. Oh, it's got some teeth on it. Oh, it'll cut you to the bone. It'll cut you to the bone. It'll hurt in the worst ways. I promise you. I have been disappointed over and over and over and over again. With failure. With people. With situations beyond my control. Oh, it hurts, guys. Oh, I can think of a million ways. I can think of a million things that have happened. Yeah. It's your own... It's the fear of following your own heart. And the fear that you'll actually succeed. It's the fear that you'll finally find the power that you always thought you had. It's to become who you truly thought you were. Or truly thought you are. It's the fear of discovering that you were meant for more. It's the fear of that you wasted your life. It's the fear that you might become a monster. It's the fear that you might not know yourself. I'm going to be around for a while, guys. I made that promise to you, and I make it to you almost every time we talk. Because it's a reaffirmation of my commitment to this community, to the greater opportunities that exist. I'm building yen. I'm building something, John and I are building something that we fundamentally believe will change the way people exchange value. And in many other ways too. Fundamentally change the way that people interact, transact. You know, I'm not fearful. I'm not fearful of that dream. I'm not fearful of that desire that's in my heart. I'm not fearful of any of that. If I'm honest, I'm just like you. I'm just like you. You know what I'm really scared about? I'm scared that we'll succeed. Because if we succeed, then it's only going to get harder. My life is already hard. You know how hard it's going to be if we're supporting 10, 15 million people? Transacting tens, maybe even hundreds of millions of dollars a day through our system? Guys, today is easy. Today is easy. It's only going to get harder. But it's Sunday sermon, guys. And one thing that I have found in my life is that as hard as life gets, the Lord my God has given me the perseverance to survive. And I think if that's a blessing from the universe, then let me leave you with that. I have found that in life, as hard as it gets, and it gets harder every year, guys, that I am given the strength to persevere regardless. And that universal truth, for me, I would take a gander and say is probably applicable to you. Life just keeps getting harder, guys. But you know what? You are given the strength to persevere. And if that is the case, then maybe, just maybe, it's time to turn the dial up. To turn the dial up on that perseverance and choose to be miserable in whatever desire that your heart desires in terms of some sort of change in your life. It's time, guys. It's time to confront your fears. It's time to confront yourself. It's time to get over it. You know why? Because today is the fucking easiest day of your life. You just have to decide. It only gets harder from there. When you get to a decision point when you could do no other, and you will gird up thy loins like a man, you will answer, and you will be volunteering for hell. But I promise you, it's worth it. Because this is my life. I get to control it. I get to be the master of my own destiny. I get to do it on my time. I get to shoot squirrels all day, protecting my house, building code for yen, engaging with you guys, going on trips to see motherfuckers, try to get business done. It is hard, but golly, I'm doing it for me. Guys, it's time. Decide today. It's time. Peace out.